What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the Anonymous Farmer with Anonymous Genetics, back with another informative video, a little tutorial. I've been getting a lot of questions. I've been seeing a lot of people ask about seeds and how to go about planting seeds and just overall how to have success with seeds. I know a lot of people don't have access to clones, and it's much easier to order some seeds online and get those seeds and pop them yourself. But I've noticed a lot of people struggle with that, and there's many different ways that you can germinate a seed. By germinating a seed, I just mean get the seed to pop and get a sproutling from it. So basically, first off, you're going to start with your seed. Now everybody knows what a weed seed looks like. Cannabis seed. It's a little bean. Usually they're kind of like an oblong shape, not perfectly round. I don't know if you can see that. But anyway, so you're going to get your seed. I generally like seeds that are nice, have a nice brown color and kind of like tiger stripes. There'll be like a pattern on them, like some kind of striping. Those usually are really healthy seeds, fully developed seeds. You don't want to use seeds that are white or green, or if you kind of squeeze them a little between your finger, you can feel them give. That means the seed's not sealed properly, and more than likely it's not viable. So you want to find a good, healthy seed. They're not always big. Different strains have different size seeds. I've seen really small, tiny seeds that, have the same structure, dark, good tiger stripe, nice and hard. And I've seen some really good seeds, really big seeds as well. And we're going to go over the different ways people germinate seeds. Now, the one that I'm not a huge fan of, that I've heard of people doing, is the cup method. Where really they'll throw a seed into the bottom of the cup and put water in it and wait for it to sprout before they pull it out. That's one way. I've tried it. I didn't really like it. Didn't have a very good succession ratio. There's another way, and that's going with these little starter trays you fill with dirt. Basically, you can fill with dirt and put your seed in about a 1/4 inch down and loosely put dirt over and water it. And put it in, some sort of, you don't really need to have sunlight. I like sunlight when I'm germinating seeds because, in my experience, if you use sunlight, it just tends to germinate faster and you have a more vigorous taproot growing. So basically, you can put it in here, you can lightly water it, and you can just wait for your seed to pop up. And the cool thing about these is you can cut each individual square out. And then these cups are paper, so they kind of biodegrade. I wouldn't leave it in the cup, but you can basically get the seedling started, have it extremely rooted in this little cube, cut the cube, and then the paper basically falls apart. And then you can transplant it into a bigger cup. And the benefit of that is a lot of times when you pop seeds, they tend to stretch. Even if you have the proper lighting and everything, they kind of grow long sometimes. And you want to be able to bury some of that stem. So you always want to be able to transplant seedlings. You never want to put a seedling directly in the pot that you plan on growing it because it could stretch and just fall over. And a lot of that's due to people not having the proper lighting or the light close enough. But even at times I've felt and experienced that even if your conditions are perfect, the plant still kind of wants to get a little stringy. And it helps to be able to bury part of that stem. So you want to put it into something that you can transplant into a bigger source once the seedling develops a few leaves. Now this is one way. We talked about the cup with water is another way. You can also use these starter cubes or clone cubes, and you can wet this and you can place the seed just about a 1/4 inch down the crack, and you can put this into your cloning medium tray with the dome under the light and allow the seed to pop that way. When you do that, you also have the option of burying the plug deeper into the next pot of soil that you put it in, covering some of the stem and therefore making the plant a little appear shorter, but it's going to give it more support. This is a good way to do it. You can do it in trays. You have pretty good success, but again, this is not the method that I personally choose to use. Now we're going to go over the method that I personally choose to use, and that's the paper towel method. Basically, you get a sandwich bag, you get a paper towel, You fold the paper towel in which way you can just kind of open it, and there's the seed. So, boom. But what you want to do is you want to fold up the paper towel, and I prefer to use Bounty paper towels just because they're stronger and sturdy, and when the taproot goes out, it doesn't seem to go into the paper. It kind of just follows the fold of the paper, so it makes it really easy to pull it out once the root does develop. And basically what you do is you run this under the sink, and then you just put it between your hands and kind of release a little bit of the excess water, but leaving it damp. You put it into a sandwich bag, like so, and you zip it up, and you set it in the windowsill. And literally 3 to 4 days after setting in the windowsill, you'll have a taproot. You can remove it. You can place that taproot down into the soil, into the cup that you're going to use. And I prefer to go with a cup. Like I said, when starting seeds, I like to start off in small containers and gradually replant up, because you're going to have that stem stretch no matter what. And you're going to want to be able to bury it a little bit deeper each time you transplant it. So, you know, I've gone as far as transplanting 3 times from seed, where I do a seed like this, and once I get the taproot established, I'll put it in one of these medium trays in the dirt, and then, you know, get it up and get about 4 leaves on it, cut the cube off, slowly pull apart the paper, and then place it into a cup, one of those 8-ounce cups like the one I just showed you, with soil, putting it down, put it back under the light. Basically that allows you to develop the strength of the stem and the root structure, and also that allows you to control how much moisture, and basically just you can keep track of your root development, especially if you use these red cups like I use. They're plastic and they're semi-translucent, but since they're red, they kind of block the light rays that could do any damage to the roots, and it also lets you have a little window to see how your root development's doing, so you know when you can transplant. Those are the 3 or 4 methods of popping seeds that I'm, you know, familiar with. Like I said, I prefer the good old paper bag with a paper towel, plastic bag with a paper towel, wet paper towel, and set it in the windowsill. And then once you get the taproot popped, you know, about 1 inch long, you can place that directly into the soil, into a smaller cup, at which point the seed will crack open. 2 water leaves will pop out, which will be little round leaves like so. And then you'll have maybe 2 small, you know, cannabis looking rigid leaves sticking out the sides of those water leaves. You want to keep it in a cup. You can start using like light nutrients at that point once the seedling establishes the leaves. You don't want to use any nutrients prior to that. Once you get to that point, you should see double node growth within a week, to where you have another set of seeds, another set of leaves pop up, fold open on the top, and then you can remove the water leaves. I always remove the water leaves once there's at least 2 to 4 leaves develop, like full-on leaves on the plant, because the water leaves are basically just a part of the initial seedling development, and it's not necessarily after the point of a couple nodes of development. So basically that's me and how to germinate a seed. Basically that's how I enjoy doing it the best, is going through with the paper towel method and the plastic bag. Like I said, there's many different ways. I've thrown seeds in dirt and it's popped up and it's worked great. You just have to make sure that your light source is close. If you're using artificial light, whether it be LED or T5, you want to make sure that you've got your light relatively close to the seedling. That way it doesn't stretch too much. And this is your boy with Anonymous Genetics, the Anonymous Farmer, again with another tutorial on cannabis, and this one was specifically on seeds. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and drop a question in the comment, or you can hit us up at anonymousgenetics@gmail.com. You can also check out our Instagram page, Anonymous Genetics, and keep an eye out for future clothing line for Anonymous Farmer. It's all love, guys. Thanks.